Hey, this is Mike. I am in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, visiting Sparks Toyota, and man, prepare to get your mind blown. We're going to look at a 2015 Toyota Land Cruiser. That's right, Toyota Land Cruiser. And the trim level is crazy, off the hook, awesome. At least that's what I'm going to call it. So, this thing has so many different features that will blow your mind, and we're going to check them out, every one of them. So it's going to be a long video. We're going to go in depth and check it all out. You can actually see everything, and if you want to skip around, please feel free to. So just looking at it, it looks like a, you know, kind of pretty nice looking SUV, okay? But this is a SUV that's all about luxury and equally, pretty much equally, off-road capability. It's amazing. So it has 18-inch aluminum wheels, and I know what you're thinking, well, why not 20, or why not a 19 or something like that? Since this is an off-road capable vehicle, you got to have some room for some rubber. So you notice you have some decent tires on there, decent size tires on the 18-inch wheels to be able to navigate over off-road conditions and stuff. So this one is like a burgundy color with some chrome accents. Here in the front we have HID projector headlights with some LED accents here, and then you have the halogen reflector headlight for your high beams. There's your low beam, there's your high beam. You have the fog lights down here, and this little guy is a little washer, so it pops out and sprays actually sprays the headlights and cleans them off for you, which is pretty cool. You also have some sonar sensors here around the front and the back to give you some parking aids so you don't run into something while you're navigating through a tight space. And also it has these little cameras everywhere, which will also help you navigate through tight spaces, and I'll show you all that on the inside. It really is a really cool feature, so you can really, like, literally get 1 inch from something without touching it. It's amazing. So you also have some kind of hidden tow hooks down here. On the side we have a very durable but classy looking side step, and it is made out of an alloy with some grip pieces there. Very sturdy, doesn't give it all. I can put all my weight on it and it doesn't give, you don't feel it move at all. It's completely solid, like you're stepping on the frame. So here's the key. It's still in the protective bag from the factory, and it's going to stay in there until the owner buys it. But this one has remote start, so to go ahead and start it up, you do have to make sure it's locked. So you push that twice, and then you push and hold it a third time, and it will start up for you. You can see it has the roof racks. Those are standard. So getting in the vehicle, it has a proximity key, which you saw the key, but let me show you again. It's just this little plastic box, and the vehicle will sense the proximity of this key, and you just keep the key in your pocket if you want to. But basically you just walk up, and you can see it has this little button on the handle, and it has that on all 4 handles, and it also has it on the trunk. But walking up to the door, right now it's locked. I have the key in my pocket, and I'm just going to put my hand behind the handle. Now I'm going to show you something. I'm just going to put my hand here and try to pull the door, just to show you that it is locked, because it's pretty interesting. As soon as you put your hand behind the handle, it unlocks immediately. So you might think, oh, it was unlocked, but that is just senses the key. It senses your hand. It lets you in. The key has to be within a close proximity of the vehicle, though. You can't have it, like, you know, too far away. So push this button and it relocks. So now it's locked again. So as long as you have the key in your pocket, in your purse, in your bag, anywhere close within the vehicle, you just walk up and get inside. You don't have to worry about anything, get fumbling with keys and all that stuff. That's a thing of the past with this vehicle. So here's the inside of the passenger door, and you've got this wood grain accent with a little metallic trim. You have a tan and gray interior and you also have this metallic accent here. The inside of the handle is kind of dimpled, and it's very comfortable when you get inside and you want to close the door. Place to put a bottle, something down there. You also have the JBL Synthesis premium sound system that has, like, I think it's 14 speakers or something like that. It's crazy. So let's take a look here on the passenger side. You see it has plenty of leg room. You have the power adjustments on the passenger seat, perforated, heated and cooled seats, super soft, high quality leather, comfortable as can be, especially when you consider you have the heated and cooled options. When you get in the seat, you won't want to get out. They're very comfortable. So let's take a look in the locking glove compartment. You have that little kind of like a shelf system in there. A couple places, it's got some papers and stuff there on the top, but you have the ability to have junk on one side and more important stuff on another tier. You have the handle to help get in, and the step. It's not really too tall, but it does help to have a handle there. All right, so here's the inside of the back door. You have the same styling, and you still have a pretty decent sized door considering it is for the second row passengers. Some vehicles have a tiny door here in the back. This one's pretty significant to allow you to get in easily. Plus you have plenty of headroom, so you're not bumping your head getting in and out of this vehicle. You have this little, what appears to be an ashtray, but it's actually, I don't know if that's actually the intention of it. Could be. Okay, so here's the back. You can see even with that front seat all the way back, you still have some really good, decent leg room here. And these seats are heated as well with the perforated leather. Very comfortable. You have, and I recline this seat so you can see that it goes all the way back, so you can literally take a nap back here. And then you have the center armrest. If you don't have a center passenger, you have the center armrest that comes down, plus you have this cool cup holder that pops out, so you can put some cups in there. But if you need a center passenger, this lifts up, snaps in place, and then you have a headrest that goes up. Now the back seat drivers are not going to be nagging you because they have a DVD system, okay? They also have the ability to adjust their own climate control, their own seats, and the ability to play music or play a DVD, and they can adjust their own volume. They have the little places to adjust their volume. They can put headphones in so they can listen to it independently. And then you have some video jacks there so they can plug in different devices. All these are pretty cool. And then you got your heated seats here, and then all your climate control. It's really awesome. Got net pockets there on the back of the front seats. They also have tap lights back here so they can read or whatever, and it won't be interfering with you. And then you have the some lights back there. And so anyways, you're probably thinking, well, how in the world do I get in the third row seat? It's really simple, actually. There's this one lever, and I just touch it, and it's like literally one finger, like no energy whatsoever exerted, and that seat is out of the way, completely from a reclining position all the way to a flipped up out of the way position without tugging on it or anything like that. So you can climb, there's a step there, and then you get into the third row seat. And the third row seat's pretty cool. You've got some cup holders there and little places to put stuff. Perforated leather back here as well. decent amount of leg room. It doesn't, the seats are not very high off the floor, but they're not too bad. I'm sure that adults and stuff can sit back there. It's more, usually kids sit in the third row, but hey, adults look like they can fit back there as well. To open up the fuel door, you have this little switch here. So let's lift that up, that little latch right here. So now the fuel door is open, and let's take a look at it. It's on the passenger side. So it has this little cap here, and pretty typical cap, and it has this plastic tether to keep you from losing the cap. Plus you can have a little place to put it right here on the inside of the door. That will remind you, not only gets the cap out of the way, it keeps it from dangling down, scratching your paint, but it also reminds you to put the cap on because you can't close the door with the cap in the way. So I like the way it latches there. It locks. So looking here at the back, we have the privacy glass. There's some sonar parking sensors here across the back. It has a very capable towing capacity. Now this is all covered up now with this cover to give it a classy look until you're actually hooking up a trailer to it. It's like literally covered up all the way. Can't even see it on the bottom side. You can see the spare tire under there, as well as the stainless steel exhaust. Let's see what else we can see under there. But anyway, the towing capacity, I think, if not mistaken, it's around 8,400 pounds. And of course, it all depends on, your setup and everything. But let's go ahead and take a look here at the back. You do have the backup camera back here as well. So a lot of the SUVs have this big hatchback that lifts up. This one's a little bit different. So walking up, I have the key in my pocket. I could just walk up, and there's this little there's two buttons under here, and I'll show you them in a second. One is to lock the vehicle, the other one is to open up the tailgate. So let's lift it up so we can see the two buttons. This is to lock it, this is to unlock it here. And on the inside of the tailgate, we have some speakers there, so you can literally have a tailgate party. So you notice only a portion of it lifted up. The rest of it will go down. So here's the latch for that, and this goes down like so. So now you have like this little tailgate you can sit on or get stuff out and organize stuff. And you do have some under here inside the tailgate is your tools for changing your spare tire in that little plastic box. And you also have a place to put other stuff, some other tools or whatever in here, so you can utilize that space that's kind of hidden in the tailgate, which is pretty cool. There's your wireless headphones, and then you have this is for your trailer hitch piece that goes in there. So let's take a look under here. You can see it's just carpet. So you have these third row seats, and you have a small amount of cargo area here. But let's say you needed some more cargo area and less passenger area. It's really simple. This seat it's a little bit different from the normal, what you would normally see. First you would do is just close down, fold down the headrest there, and then you lower this back like so, and like literally it took me like no energy just to push that little lever, and it just falls down. But then you lift this up and check it out. It goes up completely out of the way, and you can snap it in place, and that way it's super secure there, and it's not going to fall down and hurt anybody or fall down and damage your stuff. And the other seat will do the exact same thing. So that way you have all this cargo area in the center, and you have this pass-through area. So like say you notice that seat's folded up, you fold these seats out to the side, and then you have this huge area there in the center without the third row seats getting in the way. Some of them like fold up and stuff like that. Well, this completely gets them out of the way, puts them out to the side. Now to lower them, you just unlatch them here. That unlatches the little side there, and you just push it down almost no energy there. And this is pretty cool. It has this little handle, and you pull that and you get it in place, and then when you're done, it has this little magnetic thing and it snaps in place. And then of course you just lift that up and you're good to go, ready to go again. Isn't that cool? Especially I like the little tailgate there so you can hang out. Okay, so let's go ahead and close it up. Now I just want to mention you also have a Edison plug over here. That is a 100-watt Edison plug. This is for, you can't like use a hair dryer or anything like that, but you can use it for plugging in a laptop, a radio, cell phone, charging a cell phone, that kind of stuff. So 120 volt, 100-watt Edison plug, just like you'd find in your house. All right, so closing this down. Let's take a look on this side, just to kind of give you another point of view. You got a little tweeter speaker there, part of the JBL sound system. You have that 60-40 split seats to where you can have a combination of cargo and passengers. So let's take a look under the hood. Here's the little latch here for that. So to open the hood, the latch for it is, it's very simple. It takes almost no energy to lift the hood of this. There's the emblem. It's just a little bit there to the right. You just stick your hand in and just lift up ever so slightly. You lift up the latch and then you lift the hood up just a few inches and it goes up all the way by itself. So here's your latch here. So you can see it just does that number and gets out of your way. And it's covered up with plastic, but at least they have metallic looking plastic, so it looks somewhat cool. 5.7 liter V8, 381 horsepower, 401 pound-feet of torque, all four-wheel drive system with the 6-speed automatic transmission. There's your battery there. Plenty of power to keep you going out on the highway or on a trail, a sandy trail or something like that, where you need a lot of torque to get through the terrain. So either way, this thing can handle it. Okay, so let's take a look behind the wheel. There's tons of features to show you there, so let's go ahead and check that out. Here on the driver's door, we have your presets for your seats. 1, 2, and 3. So you have 3 presets. And also not only for your seat, but your power adjustable tilt and telescoping steering column will be adjusted as well. Then you have all 4 windows are automatics. You just push them one time and they'll go up and down. Door lock controls. You can also lock out the rear windows so they're not, you know, if you have kids or something in the back, they don't, you know, you don't want them playing around with the windows. You can just lock them out with that button as well. And you pretty much the rest of the door is a mirror of the other side. You have this puddle light right here, which is pretty cool. Keeps you from stepping in puddles, I guess the name goes. So you have your adjustments here, power seat, but on the driver's side we have a lumbar support adjustment there, powered. Perforated, heated and cooled seats, very super awesome, comfortable, if that makes sense. And the I don't know how to explain it, but the padding is soft, but yet it doesn't, like, you know, bounce around like a balloon or something. It's very soft, but yet a little bit firm to give you that support that you need. All right, so let's get behind the wheel and check it out some more. Check out this power tilt and telescoping steering column. Isn't that cool? And it will, you can set it with the presets. So to start the vehicle without the remote start, all you do is you put your foot on the brake. Of course, you do have to have the key in the vehicle. You put your foot on the brake and you push this button. And it'll start up everything for you. All right, so here we are on the inside. tons of cool features. Right now I've got the power adjustable lumbar support, making my back very comfortable. I also had the cooled seat, cooling my back because it is a pretty warm day. So let's go ahead and start over here. We checked out the door, but there's a whole bunch of buttons over here to the left of the steering column, and this right here below is a place to put like a parking ticket or something like that, or maybe a toll ticket. But we have the power washers for your headlights, and they are really interesting. You know, kind of spray high pressure washer fluid all over your headlights and clean them off in case you got mud or something on there. Your traction control, you can turn that off. Default is on here. Heated steering wheel, you can turn that on or off if you want. It has a little indicator light. Now this button is the side curtain airbags. See, like say if you're on some really serious off-roading conditions, your side curtain airbags sense if you're rolling over, and they will inflate. So, but if you're doing some seriously off-road conditions, you don't want that sensor to be triggered unnecessarily. So you can turn those off here. And over here is your this gives you the ability to really adjust your front headlights. If you have like a full load of passengers and you're pulling a trailer, stuff like that, you can adjust your headlights up and down so that way they're not blinding other people. Plus your side mirrors, you can adjust them here. You just pick a side and then you can adjust it with this pad like so, and then you put it back in that center position to avoid messing them up. Your heated side mirrors. Then you have this button, which is really cool. It folds in your side mirrors. They're power folding side mirrors, power adjustable, heated side mirrors, which is pretty cool. And then your parking sensors front and back, you could turn those on and off here. And then you have your locking differential button right here, which you can turn on and off. Okay, so let's take a look at the steering wheel. And very classy looking leather wrapped steering wheel with the wood grain here at the bottom and the top. Very grippy wood grain. It looks like it might be slippery, but it's actually very grippy and easy to control the vehicle. And the steering is actually a multi-gear ratio type system. To on the highway, it'll be a little bit less sensitive. So every little tiny motion of the steering wheel is not going to jerk you all over the road. But when you're going slow and you're in an off-road situation, or slow and you're just kind of navigating through a small area, then you'll have a lot more control. So it's a variable, and it adjusts, kind of self-adjusts depending on the speed and stuff like that. So really cool feature there. I don't think I've ever seen that in any other vehicle. So, and it is a heated steering wheel. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the buttons here. Very simple, easy to use buttons, but really handy as well. So here on the left you have a volume for your radio, for that awesome JBL sound system. Plus you have these buttons here that cycles through your presets on your radio. And your mode button, this will cycle through, like say AM, FM, satellite radio, that kind of stuff. And plus you have the AV inputs. You have lots of different ways of playing through the radio, but you know, this just changes through those different ways. So satellite radio and stuff like that. So here on the right we have your ability to send and receive phone calls with your Bluetooth system. So basically, once you pair your Bluetooth phone with the system, you can answer calls here, you can hang up, and then you can make calls with this voice recognition. You can push that button and you can say, call William Jordan, or whoever happens to be saved in your phone book on your phone. So as long as you say it like it's spelled in your phone book, it'll go ahead and call them for you. Plus you can push the button and say call 12345 or whatever the number happens to be, and that's a really cool feature. Plus you can push that button and it'll take you to particular radio, like tune to satellite channel 80s on 8, that kind of stuff. So the voice recognition has this whole bunch of stuff that you can use to stay productive and do stuff in your vehicle while your hands are on the wheel and eyes on the road. All right, let's go look down here. This is for your display. This is for your center display there, and I'll show you that in a second. So down here is your cruise control, and you can turn it on and off with this button here, and you can set it by pushing it down, and then you can go up and down like so to change your speed, and then you can cancel it by pulling it in. Now this right here coincides with the cruise control, and this has a very advanced cruise control. It's called an adaptive or an intelligent cruise control. So as I'm driving, this vehicle is going to match the speed of the vehicle in front of me. So let's say you're going 75 miles an hour and a vehicle going if there's a vehicle in front of you going 70, it's going to slow down to match their speed. So with this button here, once we turn on the cruise control, it'll say radar ready right up here, and we can push this button and cycle through the distance in front of us. So let's say like you're going 75 and the person's going 70, this will give you the ability to follow at a closer or further distance. I prefer a far distance myself, but it all depends on the situation. If you're in kind of tight traffic or whatever, if you leave too much room, then somebody's going to jerk the wheel and get in front of you, and then you have even shorter distance. So you have the ability to cycle through with this button the different distances in front of you as you're driving. Really awesome cool feature. If you've ever been in a vehicle that has the intelligent or the adaptive cruise control, it's a really easy, stress-free driving on the highway, because typically you're constantly adjusting up and down your speed, turning your cruise control off and on and stuff like that. This, you just kind of set it and just roll, and it just kind of does its thing. You don't have to even worry about it. So let's go ahead and check out this display button. So we're looking at the gauges now, and we have the RPMs there to the left with your oil pressure, and then on the right we have your speedometer with your battery voltage. Then you have your gas gauge, which looks like it needs some gas bad, and then your temperature of your engine there. But right in the center, right in here, we have this little screen. It's showing us the odometer, 4 miles on the vehicle, and then what gear we're in. So as we move the gear, it's going to show us the different gears, which is pretty cool. But pushing this display button, you see it says radar ready, which we'll check that out. But if I can push this display button, it's going to cycle through different information. So average miles per gallon, we can go to after you're refueled, it resets itself, and you know, we'll give you another average, and then your current miles per gallon there, cruising range, how far you can drive before you have to get gas, and of course we need to go straight to the gas station. And then, you know, there's any kind of warnings will pop up there. It'll tell you low fuel. And there's a digital speedometer there, average speed, not going too fast. And then it goes back to that radar ready. You also have the tire pressure here, and a tire pressure on each tire, including the spare tire, which is pretty cool. And this is where your turn-by-turn navigation will show up. It'll actually show up on this screen as well as the big screen. And then you have a blank screen there in case you just don't want anything there. So there's the ability to kind of cycle through and get different information on that screen as you need it. You don't have to go through it. You know, the digital speedometer is usually what a lot of people use right there. But, you know, there's information there in case you need it. You can cycle through and get it. And like say with your tire pressure, if the tire pressure is low, it's going to tell you anyway. So you don't actually have to go and check it out and you know, check it every single day or whatever. So your headlight controls are here. It has an automatic feature, on, parking light, and then off. And then you have your fog light controls here. Windshield washer and wiper controls here. And it does have the rain sensing windshield wipers, which is pretty cool too. So let's take a look over here on the center stack, and at the very top we have your climate controls going on low, outside temperature, your time, your little clock there, and then you have this nice big touchscreen. And the touchscreen has all kinds of information. So right now we're looking at the map. So the map is, let's go ahead and zoom out so we can kind of get an idea of the information we can see. Let's go ahead and really zoom out, because we're in Myrtle Beach. We can see the ocean, we can see the main roads, the main highways, stuff like that. And then you've got your highways labeled there, and all that cool stuff. So that's all good. So you can put in a specific address and stuff like that. So let's go to destination here. We can put in an address, point of interest. We can go into our address book. We can push emergency and find the nearest hospital, that kind of stuff. We can save our home address and hit go home anywhere in the United States, and it'll take us right home. Really cool features there. So let's push the info screen here. This is where you can go into apps. You can check out your fuel consumption. You have traffic incidents, that kind of stuff. You can get fuel prices. So let's go into the app screen just so you can get an idea. The Intune apps screen requires you to be paired with your cell phone. So right now we can't go in there. Fuel consumption, this is give us like charts and everything like that. Let us know how much gas we're using, how fast we're using it up, that kind of stuff. All right, let's check out the traffic incidents. Says it's not available yet. Let's go to fuel prices, see if that's available. This is pretty cool because not only can you find out the nearest one, but also you can sort it by price too. So if you want to get super cheap, you can find the one that is the cheapest or whatever. That's really handy if you're not familiar with the area and you really need to get to a gas station like this vehicle does. You can find the nearest one for sure. Alright, so you can find sports, you can stocks, weather, which is pretty cool. It actually gives you a weather map here, and you can actually see the radar, and you can see, you know, wherever the storms are. Some weather just kind of gives you, you know, tells you what the temperature is and sunny or something like that. This actually gives you, you know, a lot more information. You know, and then you have your forecast here, and you can, you know, of course, this hasn't been, it's a new vehicle, so it needs to be set up. But pretty cool feature there. Those are in the apps screen. So let's get out of all that stuff. So your phone, once you pair your phone, we're not going to pair one now, you'll have access to your phone book, your contacts, call history. You'll have a keypad right there to actually make calls. And of course, you know, highly recommend using the voice recognition system for all this stuff when you're driving. But you know, that's your basic screen there. You can see most everything's blocked out because we don't actually have a cell phone connected. You can adjust you can go into your audio, and you got AM, FM, satellite radio, but you also have CD player, USB, Bluetooth audio, video, and rear inputs. So you have lots of different ways of playing music through the sound system besides just the radio and the CD player. And if you're relying on CDs still at this point, definitely want to go ahead and you know, rip them into WAV files or FLAC files or MP3s or whatever, because you know, it won't be too much longer that the CD players will be going the way of the 8-track. So just want to give you a heads up there. So down here we've got your climate control button, and it gives you a really easy way to adjust your fan speed. You have a 4-zone, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, way of adjusting you get where you want the air to blow, your fan speed, and your temperatures here on the left, and then there on the right. And then you can adjust the rear climate control with the temperature and the fan speed there. Pretty cool. And then you have an automatic setting there, front and rear, defrosters, recirculate the air, all that stuff. And then this really gives you a full blast air conditioner, like a maximum air conditioner for a little while to get you cooled off when you first enter the vehicle, which is pretty cool. There's your start button, 4-wheel drive high and 4-wheel drive low controls here. We'll get into a little bit more of that in a second. CD players down here, 4-way flashers. Here's your ability to, you know, your volume. You have it on the steering wheel, but there's your volume and tune through the stations knob, and kind of keeping with tradition there. You can eject your CD player, you can play and pause, and you can change through the tracks here. Alright, so down here we have a couple power supplies. We also have this one has a power supply and a cigarette lighter, but you can take that out and use it as a power supply. There's an ashtray, it looks like, or something like an ashtray, a little storage compartment. You have the USB and auxiliary inputs right here for playing. That's some of the ways of playing music through the sound system. And you have that little flat pocket. That's probably a good place to put the key, I guess, and that way you don't forget it. It's kind of right there so you can see it. So here's your shifter. So your shifter, there's park, and let's go ahead and put it in reverse because we want to show you. It has the backup camera that pops up here, and check it out. It's got these little flag poles here showing you, you know, your when you back up the how wide your vehicle is and stuff like that. You notice it's a widescreen, a wide angle view there. So as I turn the steering wheel, it's going to adjust those a little bit. So it kind of give you an estimated trajectory of the vehicle and how wide your vehicle is going to be. So, and also it's really easy to back up to a trailer because you can actually see the bumper all the way up to the sky. Really good view back there. So let's continue down. There's neutral, and then there's drive. That's your normal drive position. It'll cycle through all the 6 gears. And when you go to the sport mode here, you can cycle through the gears manually. So you can go change it. And when you put it in drive and then over to sport mode, it actually shows you the gear you're in. So you can cycle through the way you want it. I don't know if it'll actually let you start off in 6th gear or not, but I'm not going to try it. But that's the, you know, you do have the ability to, you know, change through the gear ratio. Have some control over the gear ratios. So over here you have your heated and cooled seat controls. Right now I have it on the cooled side, which is pretty cool. And you, it does have the transmission has this ability to step through the gear ratios. I'm not sure exactly how to explain it, but you can turn that feature on and off here. You can have it start off in 2nd gear, 2nd start, and then you can have the sequential shift power system for going up and down hill. It'll cycle through the gears ratios a certain way. I'll put some more information in the description to kind of explain that. It's a little bit more technical than I'm prepared to explain right now, but you know, check the description for more information. Okay, so these buttons down here are only for when you are in 4-wheel drive low, and you can turn crawl mode on, and it has 5 different speeds of crawl mode. So you're crawling through some off-road stuff in 4-wheel drive low, and you can basically will adjust everything for you and keep you going at a certain rate, and you can set that rate right here, and that way you keep going over the obstacles or whatever you happen to be in at a certain set speed, and the vehicle will maintain that momentum. And you know, of course, there's your speed there. This is a button that will give you power assist, like a much more power assisted turning. So your turn assisting power steering, I guess, will help you out in that particular off-road situation. Okay, so there's your parking brake right here, emergency brake. Cup holders are right here. Here's the remote control for your DVD system there on the back, and has this little holder thing. And these have these little things to adjust in and out for different size cups. And of course you can close it up, make it look pretty cool there. So your center armrest is here, and you have, you know, pretty good amount of space there for both the driver and the passenger. And then it has 2 different positions, 2 different places, I guess you'd say. It opens up. You have this little tiny spot for putting a cell phone or something there. But then the whole thing lifts up, and you have an like a actual cooler in there. And it's pretty darn cold in there right now. They call it a cool box, and you turn that on and off right there. But I mean, it's not exactly like a refrigerator, but if you put some cold drinks in there, they are going to stay cold when you leave them in there, and you can see it's sealed up pretty good. That's a pretty neat feature, and it's right there, easy to get to. Alright, so let's take a look at the rear view mirror. You have your HomeLink garage door opener controls right here. And you also have an auto dim rear view mirror, which you can turn on and off right here. So you can turn, you know, that feature on and off. You have a little indicator light showing that it's on and off. Up here is a place to put your shades. You have some lights up here, so you got a little spotlight on one side or the other, and you can have it to where the door when the door opens, the light turn it on or off. You can turn them all on, all the lights in the vehicle on and off with this button. You actually have an SOS button, which is for emergencies only. That is through the Intune system. So right up here we have some buttons for your moonroof, and the moonroof is right here and has a shade that completely blocks 100% of the light out. You can open it up like so, you can tilt it up like that, close it, and then you can open it up like so. And let's check it out and see how far it goes open. case you want to get some fresh air one day, you can open it up just like that. Or on a hot day like today, you can just close it up so you don't want, if you don't want the sun on you. So pretty cool feature there. Okay, so there's your mirror and lights and your visor, and the visor actually opens up and goes this way, so in case you need some, you know, block the sun there. But let's say, you know, you got an issue with some sun coming in the front too, you've got a second visor. Isn't that cool? So you got two visors, and it doesn't matter where you put the visor, it seems like the sun always peeks around. And I like the way they have this little area here that's kind of shades from the sun, because that's usually where the sun peeks through. Alright, so let's take a look at the visibility back here. And I've got that one seat still up, just to give you an idea. All the headrests, most of the headrests are up, and you can still see pretty decent. But the reason why I bring this up is because it has this awesome feature right here, this button. I'm going to push this button and we'll check this out. Right now we're looking at the camera in the front. It's a super wide angle lens. You can actually see both sides of the vehicle, and then the front there, and then you can see the right side. Okay, so like literally, look how, I mean, like literally you can get up really close to something. I'm actually going to turn the steering wheel so you can see the wheel pop out. And this is a camera that gives you the ability to get like inches from something without hitting it. But check it out, I'm going to push this button again, and it's going to give us both sides. So we've got visibility on both sides of the vehicle. Let's go ahead and turn the steering wheel, and we can see both tires popping out there on either side. This is like the coolest thing of all time to me. Alright, let's push it again. And then this gives us the rear view, the view behind us on the sides. So you don't really see it. You see a little bit of the front tire there in the front, but it's mostly focused on the back there. So even when you don't have the visibility very good back there, you have cameras, backup camera, and then you have these cameras that even on the sides of the vehicle you can see. So let's push the button again, and it cycles back up to the front. So, you know, kind of gives you a almost completely 360 view around the vehicle, depending on where you need it, and it gives you that razor sharp edge of the vehicle. So like literally you can get super close to something if you need to, and you're confident that you're not going to hit it. And it's a pretty good sized vehicle, so stuff like this really helps out. So with your visibility a little bit hindered there in the back with all the headrests up and all that stuff, doesn't matter, because you can see you have cameras all the way around, and you can cycle through and check them all out, especially if you're in an off-road position, trail or something like that, and there's branches and rocks and all that stuff. You can crawl right through and check everything out and make sure that you're not hitting anything, and you know, you're not really worried about it, because this is an expensive vehicle, and you know, you definitely want to be absolutely sure that you're not hitting stuff or going to hit something, that kind of stuff. So anyways, lots and lots of features in this vehicle. Really excited to show it to you, and thank you for watching, and thank you to Sparks Toyota for allowing me to show off an awesome vehicle, and I will see you guys next time.